MovieWeb.com.
I was really blown away by the look of the film. It was beautifully shot. Brad Anderson is a genius. Can you talk about the actual filming on the train and filming in the snow and the settings, and if what you saw on set was what you were expecting when you saw the final print?
It was, shooting this movie was as kind of bizarrely sort of grueling and physically sort of tough as it seems when you watch the movie. It was freezing cold, absolutely just ridiculously cold, colder than I've ever been or ever cared to be again. It was like sort of minus 30 degrees every day. And we were, although we weren't on moving trains as we were shooting the film, we were on real trains and compartments that they'd brought over from the Transsiberian Railway or that they'd built on the set, but they were exactly the same size as a real train compartment. And so every time we're in one of those, our little compartment with the bunks in it, we're in the exact size of the train compartment would be. And so it was claustrophobic and bizarre and freezing cold and very long and actually sort of the most fun I've ever had making a movie. It was brilliant experience, and I had every faith as I was making it that it was going to turn out as well as it did, because I could tell from being around Brad, who directed the movie, that he is just an obsessive movie maker who would never stop working in his head. I mean, he was just completely relentless in his drive to get this thing right. And he's an editor himself, so he would sit at the monitor all through lunch break every day, just, you know, working out what shots he'd got, what shots he needed. And then we had a lot of the camera crew were the Catalan crew that had worked on his last movie, on Brad's last movie, with Christian Bale, and made that film so beautiful. And so I knew this was going to be as beautiful. So I had every sense that it was going to look and be as wonderful as it is, but it was really tough, you know, doing it.
Right. I mean, it's a brilliantly shot. Ben Kingsley in this film is just so phenomenal, and I just saw him in the whackness, and just comparing the two characters is unbelievable. What was he like to work with? I mean, he's so different in this role without revealing what his character is all about.
Sir Ben Kingsley was a great presence to have around on the set. He's the most sort of self-possessed guy. He has this sort of strange calm about him, and he is one of the few people I've managed to find on a film set who's actually willing to talk about the kind of the business of acting, because for most people that seems to be the sort of the most taboo subject. You can pretty much talk about anything else apart from what you're actually doing, you know, you don't hardly ever get to sort of discuss the job in hand, even with a director. Weirdly, you know, you're lucky if you get a couple of days rehearsal, but on the day of the shoot, there's so much else going on, and really the sort of art of how to act a scene is left totally up to the actors. But Sir Ben is a lecturer and a teacher of acting, film acting in England, and so he is very adept and into talking about it. And it was so great to be able to sit and just hear him talk about acting and to ask him questions and to get sort of try and sit and get pearls of wisdom dropped onto me from above. He was. Yeah, he became like this sort of guru figure in that way to me. I thought it was just so great to be able to.
The guru. One last question. I guess saw Lars and the Real Girl again the other day, and I just love that movie. And here you're playing the Midwestern Jesse, but in a totally different situation. What is it about that the Midwestern American character that appeals to you?
I don't know. I guess it's just the parts I get offered. I must have something Midwestern. I don't know that I really come over as that Midwestern in real life, but I just liked this character, not because she was Midwestern necessarily, but because she had many layers to her, and she's extremely complex. And I think is both a kind, sweet, gentle soul, and also someone who has the capability to do terrible things and has done terrible things in her past and had terrible things happen to her in her past. And to me, that's a very interesting character and a very kind of believable one. I think we're all much more complex than we kind of care to admit, and that every one of us contains extremely opposite elements in our character, and that get to play a person that is so full of contradictions was a great challenge.
Woody Harrelson.
Give me your hand!
Emily Mortimer. Kate Mara. Eduardo Noriega. With Thomas Kretschmann and Ben Kingsley.
You must take responsibility! What is it?
Transsiberian.